Now in News Chopper 2, where that building is still smoldering. Stephen, people can see this from all over town.
Absolutely. From far northwest Houston up by the racetrack, you can see the smoke just billowing into the air. This building, the good sign here is that firefighters were able to stop it right here at the halfway point on your screen because the flames were just engulfing that whole area. But on the right side of your screen, you can see that firefighters were able to beat it back there on that section of roof, start pulling the rooftop away and actually hosing water down in the attic. So they have been able to stop it there at the halfway point, but certainly this building is a total loss. This is the old Regency Arms apartments, San Felipe at Windrock. It's been burning like this since 1:45 this afternoon. What I also want to show you is down at the bottom left part of your screen, they have had to bring in water from other neighborhoods. These hoses stretch from across the bayou. We saw fire hoses stretched from neighboring neighborhoods in the hydrants in those neighborhoods because they were just unable to get enough water on this. Some of the hoses were starting to go dry and they needed to be blasting water from all different directions. No injuries to report here. The arson squad's being called in. Anytime a vacant building burns, they want to look at the possibility of arson. Now, there are no advisories going out to residents in this area. The smoke is blowing up to the northwest into some residential areas. The fire department saying if you are in the area where the smoke's coming in, you should turn off your air conditioning, stay indoors until they can get the upper hand on this 4-alarm fire. That means more than 125 firefighters busy battling this thing. Again, no injuries. We are live in News Chopper 2 over Southwest Houston. I'm Stephen Dean, KPRC Local 2.
And our team coverage of this breaking story continues now on the ground.
KPRC Local 2 reporter Mary Benton is live with the latest on the fire. Mary?
Well, not only are the pictures spectacular from News Chopper 2, but here on the ground, I can tell you we can feel the water that the firefighters are using to battle this still raging fire, and also can feel the ash blowing all around us. There are also residents standing all around, not residents of the apartment complex, because as we know, it was shut down, had been closed for over a year, we're being told, but residents of the neighborhood and local businesses literally just standing by watching this fire. It is a amazing fire, as firefighters say. They did have some problems initially trying to fight the blaze. They were concerned a lot about being able to hook up their water hoses to nearby hydrants. At one point, as Stephen said, they were literally dragging their hoses over the bayou with help from residents. But as one firefighter told us, that they were just lucky that they eventually were able to get enough water pressure to fight this fire.
So you need a pumper at the base of it. You need one at the plug. So it just requires a little time. I heard them on the radio. I think they were just a little antsy about the time frame, and time compresses, and when you're doing this stuff, and it's just like, man, where's the water?
They were taking a nap, and my windows are vibrating in my house, and they woke up about 5 minutes after, and we came down to see the fire.
Firefighters tell us that once they got here and realized that this apartment complex is not occupied, they were relieved, of course, that they did not have to go into rescue mode. But still, there's quite a bit of smoke. Again, a lot of ash. Wally, if you pan around over to this Walgreens right here, I can tell you that they have these automatic doors. They are now keeping them shut and opening them manually. That's because there was so much smoke blowing into not only that building, but also other businesses nearby and also to homes. Now, just a few minutes ago, they brought in this Metro bus. It is parked right here. We were assuming that they were going to use this as a cooling station from some of the firefighters. You can imagine just how hot it is out here with the intense heat. Also, all of the thick black smoke. Every once in a while when the wind blows, you really get to see how thick it really still is. Those firefighters are obviously going to need a break and also help cooling down. That's here from the ground, the latest. We are live at the scene of this fire that firefighters are still battling. Mary Benton, KPRC Local 2. Which is vacant. It's hard to believe that no one was actually injured as a result of the flames that burned all afternoon and the thick black smoke. Every once in a while, when the wind really whips up like it is now, you just feel, you see the smoke, you feel the ash. We can even across the street feel a lot of the water that firefighters are obviously using to fight this fire. They say they're going to be out here several more hours. Thick black smoke and a ferocious fire could be seen for miles. When firefighters arrived at the old and abandoned Regency Arms apartment complex, they could not find enough water pressure to fight the flames.
I think they were just a little antsy about the time frame, and time compresses, and when you're doing this stuff, and it's just like, man, where's the water?
And After stringing their hoses to hydrants across the bayou, there was finally enough water to battle the blaze. But then firefighters confronted another challenge.
That there's tar and gravel under the asphalt shingles and a common attic. So you add those together and the wind, and you can't put enough water on it to cool it.
Thank God nobody's living there. That's all I gotta say.
No one was injured by the fire itself, but one firefighter suffered an allergic reaction when he was stung by bees. Meanwhile, authorities say that because of the wind and intense heat, it will take several more hours and a lot of manpower to extinguish the flames. Back now live, News Chopper 2 is over the scene. You can get a better idea of the amount of damage on the inside of this building. This is a huge apartment complex. Again, it was vacant because they were either in the process of tearing it down to renovate it, but a businessman in the area told us that he believed they weren't going to renovate it. They were actually tearing it down to build a strip center here. But just take a look at all of that debris, all of that damage caused by the fire, also by a lot of smoke. At one point, this fire did go to 4 alarms, which meant they necessarily had to start rotating all of the manpower, all of these firefighters, in order to get enough crews in there to battle the blaze. Again, this is some 4.5 or more hours later. You can still see that they're pouring water on this building. There's a lot of thick black smoke. You can see when the wind blows. It's hard for firefighters. I can tell you, just standing out here all afternoon, it's hard to breathe. We're feeling a lot of ash, and we can only imagine what those firefighters are going through. We're live in West Houston, Mary Benton, KPRC Local 2.